Hello, everybody.
Howdy!
Back together again.
Yes.
It's been a while.
And this time we have a new name for ourselves. We are two of the Magnificent Seven. And if you guys want to see how ridiculous this is after Kim gets done with what she wants, I have some legal terminologies I would like to read to Mr. Lloyd Evans.
Okay, now first, I was going to do a video about some of this other news that I have, and then this came in this morning. I want to thank everybody who sent me the link. As much as I hate to promote Reddit, I posted it over on JehovahWitness.com, but I will post the link so you can see the original. You know, like I said, I do not promote this, forum, and I do not like them because they are very biased. But there is a special message from a PIMO Bethel elder who has posted a message to all of us. Now, at the top, you're going to see a picture of Bethel. There's a little arrow on the right-hand side of the photo. Click on that arrow so you can see all of his screenshots, because he has posted here to prove who he is and that he is legit. It has the lunch menu for Monday, June 13th. Yummy, yummy chicken and sausage gumbo. He has a screenshot of the morning worship chairman schedule, clear to June 22nd. And then he has like a screenshot from the website where you can search for a person. It says site Rampapo. So this is his proof, his receipts that he is who he says he is. Now, I'm not going to read all of this because it's quite lengthy, but it is horrific because he is describing what it has been like inside of Bethel with the lockdowns and how controlling the governing body is. And the governing body is going to be having a fit when they find out about this information being leaked, because it is just blowing Watchtower right out of the water. And he has some interesting information talking about, well, I'll just mention a few things, because he knows there's PIMOs, and he's been at the world headquarters for many years, and he's still there and working in many different Bethel departments. I feel inclined to share some of my observation and insight, some of which may already be known and some which may not. So here they are. And he's got a whole bunch.
Well, I like, just scroll back up for a moment, and I like what he says right here. They are actively taking steps. Okay, who else in this community is actively taking steps? Pay attention and put the two together. They are actively taking steps to go on the offensive rather than having to constantly defend themselves in court. Sound familiar, friends? Hey, well played, Tony Morris. Well played.
They even began a campaign of reaching out to local government officials in certain regions in hopes of politicking and garnering favor with the community. And we've been showing evidence of this for several years now, even in hospitals.
Mm-hmm.
They are also already in the process of training potential new younger governing body members. There's much speculation around Bethel as to when, if, these new men will be announced as new governing body members, but time will tell. Yeah.
Like I said, we've done our job all too well.
Yeah, and skipping down a couple of paragraphs, number 2, because he has them numbered. Number 2, the second paragraph. Many feel that the direction provided by the governing body has been overblown and, quite frankly, overkill. The governing body and branch committee will brag that we have experienced 0 COVID-related deaths in the U.S. branches, but will not truly acknowledge the hardships and struggles that have been felt by many at Bethel due to restrictions placed on Bethelites since we went into lockdown. And he talks about mental health issues, depression, and even suicidal thoughts, which have been exasperated by the restrictions placed on the Bethelites since the start of the lockdown. Drugs infiltrating the facilities. Oh my God. Alcoholism, broken marital relationships, and unfortunately even cases of domestic abuse between married couples, just to name a few. Friends, this is right in Bethel since the lockdowns. Oh my God. So I recommend you go read it. And like I said, I will put the link down below. And if anyone can't pull it up, because it is a public post, I will also put the post to the JWN one so that you can read it. I don't have all the screenshots on JWN because I only had so much room. And I just want to say that these PIMOs that are releasing and leaking this information, you guys are the heroes. You know, you're our heroes, because these PIMOs, PIMO elders, you know, PIMO Bethel workers, they're doing more damage within by leaking this information than any of us ever could. But I want to mention that we can see they're scared and they're desperate. Watchtower. And you know, is this beginning of the end? Do they see the writing on the wall? They've got to be losing control over the members more and more every day. And I think this is a good example of this.
And a word of caution for you PIMOs that are in this position: be very careful who you put your trust in and who you choose to trust in this community, because years ago, Lloyd Evans outed one of you people.
Yeah.
Lloyd Evans outed.
Yeah. So be careful.
Be very careful who you put your trust in and who you leak this to, because you could be outing yourself. And I can't emphasize that enough. There are ex-Jehovah's Witnesses that want this couple gone, and I'll tell you why. Because we have, for some unknown reason, have an ability to remember that stuff when it happened 9-10 years ago from one Lloyd Evans. And nothing has changed since then.
Now, getting back to this PIMO Bethel elder did it the right way. You don't need any of us to leak this information. You know, you can use your private personal computer, get these screenshots and this information, and you can set up your own account on these forums. You know, you keep it anonymous. You don't have to leak this information to any of us. And actually, that's what we recommend.
Absolutely.
To the PIMO and PIMO elders. Yeah, you can trust Atlantis, and you can send documents and information to him, and he will get it out and make sure that you are not outed. But not everyone is that careful.
Right.
So, along those lines, so we all know about what has been going on in Norway between Watchtower and the government and court cases and all of that. Ex-members who are exposing their shunning policies, and the government has actually been going after Watchtower. And if I remember correctly, I know a lot has happened since then, they're actually wanting to take away their federal status so that they won't be able to get grants and money from the government. And they will lose their charity status. I know Goat-like Personality has covered that many times, and that's why we've never mentioned it, because he's covering it.
Yeah.
But along those lines, in the court documents, they found a reference manual, and it's a secret Watchtower Disfellowshipping reference manual. It's over 800 pages. And this has been leaked now because it was found in, the case files. So, Atlantis, dear friend Gramps, thank you very much. He has put it on JWN, and I will put the link to that. Grab it, because I believe the link is only available for 5 or 6 days, something like that. And so grab this, because this wasn't supposed to get out. And like everything else with Watchtower, it has been leaked. Like I said, the PIMOs and those inside, they're the heroes.
Why can't Jehovah keep things secret? Why does Jehovah God lack this ability?
Yeah. Now, what's interesting going along these lines with this manual is that the PR guy, Hendricks, in an article a couple of years ago, his public statement says, let's see, yeah, Hendricks, the church's U.S. spokesman, said shunning isn't part of the religion. This was from an article in Sheboygan, Wisconsin, several years ago. So Hendricks says, and I quote, "We don't shun. Shunning would be cutting somebody off and pretending they don't exist. That's just not the case." Oh my God, I don't know why his nose isn't this long. Because if that is the case, then how come our moms are shunning us and pretending we don't exist any longer? We're dead in their eyes.
Well, how is it that when I sent my mother a letter all those years ago, she took a pair of scissors and cut it up and sent it back as if I don't exist?
Yeah.
Watchtower, you're nothing but a den of liars and thieves.
Hendricks goes on. Other than elders, members aren't instructed on how to treat disfellowship people. Everybody makes their own decision. Oh, so you mean that Watchtower from, what was it, 2013, that says don't even text your loved ones to see how they're doing? That's not telling Jehovah's Witnesses how to treat their family?
Or going back even further, back into the 80s when they wrote another article saying, if you continue to associate with a disfellowship person, then you're showing that you are condoning that behavior, and you could be disfellowshipped yourself.
Well, you were talking to Jane Doe, and she mentioned that she was listening to a podcast, I believe, where Barbara Anderson mentioned that they were softening their disfellowshipping views. Well, and that she mentioned it was in the new Elders Manual. Well, I went and read the new Elders Manual about disfellowshipping, and I couldn't see anything where they were softening, that stand on disfellowshipping. In fact, it says that unless you are a family member, and it mentions any unnecessary contact with your disfellowship family member, that you could even be disfellowshipped for that. And a judicial meeting formed. Mm-hmm. So, unless I have a page number, I just couldn't find anything else other than what is mentioned about that. All right, now, before Mike gets into his stuff, I want to mention a few things here, that the news. Thank you, everybody, for sending me these emails. We recently had some family photos done by a sister in a congregation who is a good friend, even though we no longer go to meetings. She has become very disappointed with the division that has crept into the congregation regarding vaccines. Now remember, the video I did last week, I read where Watchtower, you can go volunteer to clean up Kingdom halls and stuff, but they don't require you to be vaccinated. Well, then why are there divisions in congregations that the vaccinated won't associate with the unvaxxed? Because we're hearing this. We've been hearing this for months now.
Yep.
Looks like you guys, Watchtower, need to have another elders letter about this because, okay, I'll go on. Many are judged for not having at least 2 jabs. Many speakers have mentioned in their talks that it is loving to have the vaccine, which is divisive in itself. Her sister-in-law is married to a stand-in circuit overseer. to a stand-in circuit overseer and recently went away with them as they have not seen them in almost 2 years. The sister-in-law told them that they received information from the branch that told them not to associate with anyone who are unvaccinated. So the circuit overseers are being told this right from headquarters.
But they're shunning for not obeying the governing body, right? Don't even associate. How does that not shun somebody?
Wow. See, they even shun their own who are in good standing.
Just because they haven't taken the jab a couple of times.
Yeah.
Hypocrites, hypocrites, hypocrites.
Yeah. I have no evidence, but I feel it would be good information and if any of this does come out in the future. And like I said, we've heard this quite a few times.
Actually, we have heard this on multiple occasions.
Yeah.
Yes.
For an organization that promotes unity in its publications, this information, if true, seems to be a far cry from what is really going on behind the scenes. Exactly.
Well, see, and there again, you got to remember back several years ago, they talked about falsely called brothers. Well, if you're not following every ounce, every letter that comes out of Morris's mouth, you could be labeled a false brother. Well, if they say we recommend you get, the jabs of the jabs of the jabs, 400 jabs, well, unless that happens, you're a false brother.
Yeah.
All of the wording is already in front of you, Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yes. Now, someone forwarded a message from, looks like the elder in the congregation, and they've redacted the pertinent, the important information of the PIMO that leaked this. It says, "Dear," and then the name's been redacted, "the body of elders would like to invite you to please download the free JWS Publisher app on your mobile device and then connect to our congregation. JWS Publisher app allows you to see Christian Life and Ministry meeting, public talk, and weekend assignments. See congregation announcements and events, view meeting and field service schedules, see congregation duties, and more."
See, how are they not becoming an online church?
Cult.
That too.
How to download and connect. Using your mobile device, go to Google Play Store or Amazon App Store. And then they give the congregation ID and the PIN number. Please identify yourself using the following information with your name and your personal PIN. And so you can get connected to the congregation. Isn't that wonderful? Wow. I'm so glad we're no longer JWs. All right. Now, I want to thank a dear friend in Illinois who has sent me this information about a Kingdom Hall that has been sold. And she sent me the documents with information on the mortgage and who bought it and all of that. Because when you do a property search, you can't find it.
Imagine
and
that.
we know that they are selling these out of the public arena now because the Sedona Kingdom Hall in Arizona, that Kingdom Hall, same thing. It was sold to a basically pagan church, as JWs would consider it. It was sold to another church, and we didn't even know about it until after the new church took over and painted it bright purple.
I happen to know a little bit more about that, but I'm not going to say anything at the moment, Watchtower.
I know. There's a lot of things we know,
It appears on the surface there's maybe a legal attempt to defraud the new owners over legal ownership. That's all I'm going to say for now.
Well, it kind of goes along with what this person in Illinois has sent me. I'm going to read her email. I haven't been following Kingdom Hall sales closely for a while, but I just saw that a Kingdom Hall in Chicago, the Roseland unit at 140 East 124th Place, Chicago, Illinois, was sold in 2021. Attached is a printout of the chain of public records relative to the property. Once again, the Kingdom Hall was conveyed without consideration, i.e. compensation, to Valley Farms Corporation on December 31st, 2018, by a quitclaim deed from the congregation itself. A special warranty deed was then used to sell the Kingdom Hall by the congregation, not Valley Farms Corporation, to the new owner, Laborers for Christ Ministries, on January 29th, 2021. I find it interesting that the seller shown on the special warranty is not Valley Farms Corporation, but the congregation itself again. This deed was also prepared by the same attorney who oversaw the sale of the Barrington, Illinois Kingdom Hall in the same way. Her name is Carolyn McCaskill, whose office is in Oak Park, Illinois. The mortgage that the new owner took out on this property was $200,000. So it would appear that that would have to be the minimum that this property was sold for, because most buyers will have a down payment, and
Right.
we don't know, because we don't know the sale price of it. All we know is what the mortgage amount was taken out on this Kingdom Hall. As we have said in the past, it's such a joke that members of the organization are admonished not to even enter another church, even for a wedding, but the organization itself has no qualms about selling congregation properties to other religious institutions.
Right.
Proceeds of these Kingdom Hall sales are sent to the Watchtower Organization.
And remember, they're all the daughters of the harlot.
Yeah, and she has the information here. The sellers are the Chicago, Illinois Congregation Jehovah's Witnesses Roseland Unit. And the buyers are the Laborers Christ Ministries. And the mortgage is $200,000. So, yeah, special warranty deed.
So they're actually selling a building that was dedicated to Almighty God, and then they're turning it around to selling it to a false prophet religion. The irony is literally right off the charts with this one.
Now, according to the document here, the Chicago, Illinois Congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses turned it over to the Valley Farms Corporation back in December 31st, 2018. Now, we did a video, a couple of years ago. Who can remember the title? But if you do a search of the video, well, I don't even remember, but Valley Farms.
Yeah.
Just, if you do a search of Valley Farms Corporation, we covered that several times, because they are the ones that property is being turned over to here in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Religion, it's a snare, a scam, and a racket.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. All right, so that's all the news I have. I'm going to turn over the camera to Mikey.
Well, all I can say is, Terry, ex-Jehovah Witness belief discussions. Well, you need to shorten your title for the sake of me.
Ex-Jehovah's Witnesses beliefs discussed.
Thank you, Terry. Excellent job on debunking the latest from the Croatian windbag. Because I said in a previous video to Lloyd, it's so easy to debunk you. It is just this easy. The sad thing is that there's still some in this community that think you have an ounce of credibility. You don't. So go ahead and do all these little frivolous little lawsuits. Go ahead and frame everything the way you want to make yourself believe you're more intelligent than anybody else. Well, I'm going to take something that you said years ago, and I'm going to change the dialogue. Remember, Lloyd, years ago you wrote in an article the cherry couple that empowered a lunatic. Video.
It was his video, my split from aggressive activism.
Yeah. So he talked about the cheery couple that empowered a lunatic. Well, I'm going to reverse that. To all of you people that give him money, you are empowering a delusional sociopath. And you know what? I can actually say that because I'm going to read the definition of what delusional is. But I'm going to read something else first. Since this is coming from a legal definition of a term, and since Lloyd likes using the word defamatory, I've been defamed, I've been this, and I've been that, you cry worse than a baby sucking his thumb, Lloyd. Okay? Because this is what defamation is. Holding up of a person to ridicule, scorn, or contempt in a respectable and considerable part of the community. You lost that with your confession. You are no longer a respected member in this community now that your confession is out there. Okay? May be criminal as well as civil. Okay, so for all of you ex-Jehovah's Witnesses that just can't figure this out, and some have over on jw.com, Lloyd cannot file criminal charges. That has to be done by a state entity.
Prosecutor.
A prosecutor. A lawyer's firm cannot do that unless they are licensed to practice criminal law. So Lloyd, for the sake of argument, stop throwing in words that don't apply. I'm going to go on, friends, because this is the whole thing, okay? All right, includes both libel and slander. Well, look at, you're a libelous, libelous this, libelous that, libelous, libelous, libelous. Holy crap, Lord, you're using more words in the song Old MacDonald Had a Farm. E-I-E-I-O. Good Lord. Going on. That which tends to injure reputation, to diminish the esteem, respect, goodwill, or confidence in which the plaintiff is held, or to excite adverse, derogatory, or unpleasant feelings or opinions against him. Your own confession changed everybody's opinion. Not me, not Kim, not Mark and Cora, not any of the other seven, the Magnificent Seven. You changed our opinions. You did that. And if you think for 1 minute we don't have a pristine copy of your confession, think again. Like Watchtower, you don't know who you're dealing with. Going on. The unprivileged publication of false statements. The unprivileged published false statements.
You mean like the haters article that is still on your website about us?
Hey, what Kim Civilio did, friends, was called whistle blowing.
It's not criminal.
It's not criminal when you blow the whistle to criminal activity, like, I don't know, maybe going on these little excursions to Thailand and then changing the wording.
To dating?
You're so short-sighted, Lloyd. It reminds me of another group of people. Okay? Okay, let me go on here. The unprivileged publication of false statements, which naturally and proximately result in injury to another. A communication is defamatory if it tends so to harm the reputation of another as to lower him in the estimation of the community. You did this yourself.
Your confession video did
this. You did this yourself. Stop being such a windbag because you're so easily debunked right now. Okay, I'm going to read another term.
Well, while you're looking for that, I'm going to mention, if you get a chance, we haven't had a chance to watch all of it yet, but Capitan did an interview with Joel the Unwitness talking about this litigation.
Yeah.
And I've heard it's pretty good.
Yep. Okay, here's the next one. Delusion or delusional. False, unshakable belief, which is A, contrary to fact. you confessed going to Thailand. Fact, you got caught on a speed dating website. Fact, you can change your name to Lloydie Boy, whatever, Lloyd Evans 607. Fact, every ex-Jehovah's Witness knows the significance of 607. That shows how dumb you are, that you can't even come up with a name that's detached from Watchtower in one way or another. You guys want a fact right here? I guarantee you, you go into every single kingdom hall in this world, and to override the security system, there's only one number everybody uses.
Every kingdom hall that we've been in, their security code for the alarm system is 1914.
It's all the same. They don't know how to detach because the Watchtower still lives in their psyche. Well played, Tony Morris. Well played to put a man in here so delusional that he would separate one from another so that we can't come together with one purpose and see that purpose through. Going on about delusion. B, inappropriate to the person's education, intelligence, or culture. And C, adhere to in spite of tangible evidence that it is false. You're holding to a false narrative, thinking that we are defaming you. You did it to yourself. You are delusional according to this interpretation because you are holding to something that you perceive is a tangible fact, and it is not.
I wonder why he took his video down. I'm taking a break. Was there something in there?
Take down all the damn videos you want. We got them, Lloyd.
Yeah.
And it's not just us.
Yeah, we've got
Okay? Here's going on. A reality judgment which cannot be accepted by people of the same class, education, race, in period of life, as the person who expresses it, and which cannot be changed by logical arguments or evidence against it. Oh, Lloyd, I am so sorry that this is happening to you. You need to go after them. You need to go after the haters. It doesn't matter what anybody says. I'm gonna believe you, even if it's a lie. It's exactly what you're doing, Lloyd. You got the delusional leading the delusional. In spite of your confession, they're still believing that we are out to defame you. That is a cult leader, friends. This is why this community will never, ever come together to bring down Watchtower. Okay, going on. 3 common delusions are: 1, delusions of persecution. Oh, the haters are after me. The haters, the haters, the haters.
They're out to destroy me and always have been for the past 10 years.
They're out to stop my most important work. You see, Lloyd? If it's so easy for me to mock Watchtower, you have thrown yourself in that same category because you don't know who you're dealing with, because I don't think in short terms. I think long term. Going on, but let me just let me use a Watchtower point: repetition for emphasis. Delusions of persecution. Number 2 gets even better.
Now remember, this isn't Mike saying this. He's reading from the Black's Law Dictionary.
Right here. Look at the camera, guys.
Page 223. This is
5th edition.
5th edition.
Now here comes. Now remember what you just read, Terry, about how he wants to get his get all of this bad stuff thrown against his name so he can continue on with his most important work.
Can clear his name.
Can clear his name. Point number 2, delusions of grandeur. Again, repetition for emphasis. Delusions of grandeur. You think that you can recover from this. That is delusional. Going on. Delusions of personal unworthiness. That's what you've done to your followers, thinking that they're unworthy unless they follow you. Okay, the first 2 are common to schizophrenia. Delusion appears to spring from a distorted worldview created by the subject, or I'm just going to put in right here, created by Lloyd Evans in order to satisfy his inner needs or to reconcile conflicting elements of his personality. Lloyd, please, for the love of Christ, go and sue the people that put together Black's Law Dictionary. Because I guarantee you one thing. This book is in my hands, and I know how to use it. Now I'm going to go on to the very last one. And this is fraud. Because by having your lawyers sent out a letter attempting extortion, you have committed fraud. And your lawyers, having done that, can now be sued also. Because they are a part of the fraud. An intentional perversion of truth for the purpose of inducing another in reliance upon it to part with some valuable thing belonging to him or to surrender a legal right, a false representation of a matter of fact. See, the fact is you confessed to what Kim Silvio was a whistleblower, and now you are trying to defraud the rest of this community thinking that we're the ones in the wrong. Hey, Tony Morris, well played in planting him in this community to keep everybody distracted from the more important thing, Watchtower. Thank you. Well played, Watchtower. Well played. Going on. Oh, a false representation of a matter of fact, whether by words or by conduct, by false or misleading allegations, or by concealment of that which should have been disclosed, which deceives and is intended to deceive another, so that he shall act upon it to his legal injury. Oh, you mean like all the money you tried to extort out of us?
Well, I was going to say, that's what he's done to us.
Yeah.
Because he won't reveal the full truth of what happened 8 years ago. And his followers won't even go watch our video that our family did 8 years ago to see what we're saying, and we're reading the actual screenshots.
Exactly.
And he won't reveal all that he has done to us, how he has defamed us, how he has doxed us. He won't reveal that to any of his followers. And that is what is so infuriating, is like Mike's video. He's telling half-truths and lies.
Half-truths and lies. And ex-Jehovah's Witnesses do it to themselves. Delusional. Going on. Elements of a cause of action for fraud include false representations of a present or past fact. fact, Lord, you confessed. You lose. And any lawyer that is dumb enough to continue to pursue this bullshit that you're doing, they are going to put themselves in legal jeopardy also. You friends in this community, you have got to learn to wake up and start resonating up here. Because if you don't, I have one suggestion for you. Please go back to the Kingdom Hall, because that's where you belong.
Well,
enough said.
Even on JWN, oh, which, by the way, that forum page is up to, what was it, 344 pages?
It's almost 350 pages.
Yeah, and people are posting stuff now there to document everything.
Right. So, and Lloyd, don't sue me for saying this. This comes right out of Black's Law Dictionary. Go and sue these people, if you dare.
All right, now before we say goodbye, I want to say that I have been adding some research information to our website, and I'm going to put the link down below. Now, I'm going to do a disclaimer here that I do not believe everything that is in this research, but we are posting it because so many have been doing research and have sent it to us. And so we just want to make it available, and so you go look at it and make up your own mind. You know, there may be something in there that you resonate with or not. You may agree with something, you may not. But, you know, we just wanted to have a little bit of research available so that you could go look up this information and maybe use some of it to talk to your JW family. So I will put the link down below to that, because, yeah, we do still have a website.
Well, okay, if you want to talk a little bit about this, I'll be real quick. See, Jehovah's Witnesses, this is what you don't get. I know a lot of you haven't seen the Australian Royal Commission where your governing body member, Jeffrey Jackson, when asked by Angus Stewart, do you see yourselves as, well, why? That would be presumptuous. Well, Jesus said in the time of the end, there would be a faithful and discreet slave. Is this the same Jesus in front of Pilate that says, my kingdom is no part of this world? Then why would Jesus appoint a faithful and discreet slave to a world, to a kingdom that Jesus confesses he has no part of this world? They just cannot see the dichotomy, the two opposing opinions.
Well, if Jesus' kingdom is not part of this world, then why is his alleged organization, Jehovah's Witnesses, part
of the world,
in with the United Nations and the superior authorities? I mean, you go to the website jw.org now and you look at the front, it's like, oh my God, they're watching mainstream media and just agreeing with everything they're saying here. And it's like, oh my God, Watchtower isn't even doing their own research anymore.
No.
They're blaming the war between Russia and Ukraine for the food shortages here in this country?
Where have I heard that statement before? You know, it's like blaming the high rising of fuel on someone else.
Well, that's like, I guess the same principle would apply. The butterfly flaps its wings over here, and there's storms, on the other side of the world.
Yeah. Oh. And by the way, friends, you better start stocking up on corn, because somebody is calling for corn to be put in your fuel, as ethanol. And bear in mind, it takes 22 pounds of corn to make 1 gallon of ethanol. They don't even have enough freaking corn to feed the cow. Oh, I guess that solves the cow farts problem, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yep. And so anyway, now before we say goodbye, I want to mention, stay tuned after we say goodbye, because our dear friend Cora has put a video on Twitter, and I know many of you are not on social media, and so you would never see this. And I asked Cora for permission to grab this and post it, and she said I could, so thank you, Cora, very much.
Thank you very much.
Yes. So stay tuned for her message that was on Twitter to Lloyd Evans. So you all have a wonderful weekend. Take care. We love you. Bye.
Lloyd? James, there you are. Long time no see. Well, come closer. Come closer. That's it. I won't bite. Don't worry. I've got something to say, and yeah, I really, really, really mean it. So I really hope you're listening. But are you really listening? Are you? So are you ready? Are you ready? Are you sure? Well, oh, read between the lines. Good luck.